Hey everybody, welcome to the newest episode of The Rec Room. And just like a pair of boobs and a halter top, tonight's all about bouncing.
I like it. That's a good one.
Better than the other one.
It was a little less
better than the last one.
A little less dark.
All right, so yeah, tonight is the Roadhouse edition, and what we mean by that, for anybody who hasn't seen the classic Patrick Swayze movie, is we're talking about bouncing. Everybody at the table tonight has been a bouncer at one time or another in their lives. Some of us are still doing it. No? Okay, never mind.
No.
So we're going to be talking about our biggest pet peeves, our favorite times, and the best bars we ever worked at. Of course, we got Josh Massier at the end there trying to figure out the sound.
Yeah, I got the timer going.
All right, and we got Mr. Mike Pasca. Hey. Everybody knows that.
Hey.
And our guest tonight, Jason Rosebluff, or better known as Chief, one of the biggest, sweetest guys we've ever worked with. All right, boys, so why don't we go around the table and just kind of give your resume of bouncing. Josh, where have you bounced in the city or otherwise?
I have, I guess, I don't know if you would call it so much bouncing, but at the exhibition grounds, I've worked many concerts, many cabarets, security during Buffalo Days, or Queen City X now.
Yep.
Was the head bouncer at the Whiskey Saloon when it was open. And good old country bar.
Yeah.
And then I said, no more to that life.
No more to that life. Done.
Yeah.
Finished. What about you?
Well, let's see. I started in about 92 in Wetaskiwin, Alberta, a place called Riggers. And then they moved it to Hungry Horse.
Riggers, that started with an R, just so you know.
And then they changed it to Hungry Horse Saloon.
Fair enough.
And from there, I went to the Golden Coach Village in Wetaskiwin, Mama's Pizza. Then I moved to northern BC. I worked at, what the heck was it? It was the Mackenzie Inn. I worked in Hollywood's, was a strip bar.
Oh, nice.
The Roadhouse.
You actually worked at a place called the Roadhouse.
It was the Roadhouse.
This is the Roadhouse edition of
Roadhouse
the podcast.
edition. That's beautiful.
It was the Roadhouse in Port St. John.
So why is your nickname not Swayze and your nickname's Chief?
He's too good looking.
Actually, that came out during a Labor Day weekend working at the pump.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody had a nickname at the pump.
Had some
Except for me.
had some blue bomber fan acting up on the stage. So I grabbed him by the wig, turned him around, ended up scalping him. So I'm standing here with this, blue and yellow or whatever wig in my hand, yell at the DJ, "Hey, check it out. I got one." And that was one of the reasons I ended up being Chief.
That's awesome. I like that one.
In Port St. John, I also worked at Backwoods, Cheers, which was another strip club, Cowboys, which was the only Indian bar in town.
Isn't that a bit ironic?
Seems ironic. Yeah.
Go figure.
Let me stop you there. Have any other guys bounced at a strip club?
No.
I have.
Did you?
Yeah. Actually, one of my first bouncing gigs ever.
What was there any major differences between bouncing in a strip club and in a regular nightclub?
Just to clean up at the end of the night.
Yeah, just get your mop out.
Actually, the biggest one was we had a bartender. Her name was Tina. And she was 5'5", but this woman could outwork any man you ever knew. I was actually out drinking one night, and I'm in the hotel, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden I hear security to Hollywood's. So I come running in there half cut. And Tina's on a chair. She's got two guys by their shirts yelling and screaming at them. I'm 6'4.5". I was 280 pounds. Pretty big motherfucker.
That's a big. That's a big. Yeah, that's a lot of mass coming at you.
And I come there and it's like, well, what the fuck do I do? She's like,
She's got this.
how the fuck do I top this?
You just started plotting.
It's like, so what? And she goes, just take this out of here. And it's like,
What'd you call me here for?
yeah, exactly. But
Interrupted happy hour.
Yeah.
Fucking Tina.
Well, I think Chief's list is far too long to get completely through.
and the pump in Regina
the
here.
pump in Regina. That's the one.
I think that's where you're
met,
most well known for.
Yeah, in Regina. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, what about you? Where have you gone?
Just the pump and the break.
The break.
The break. I remember that. This is the East End, wasn't it?
Yeah, where Divisions is now.
Yeah.
Really? How long ago was that?
Oh shit, years
It
ago.
was
I
like
was gonna
a.
say I don't even think I remember the break.
Oh, that was a long time
That's,
ago. It
I
was,
think that's when dinosaurs were still roaming there.
Oh, okay. So back when Mike was in his mid-30s?
yeah.
yeah, no. Fuck, I'm only 40.
I'm older than you, buddy.
That was Roberto and Alberto opened it there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
guys that own Gabos.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It would have been right around 04, 03, 04, 05, somewhere
Okay, so
in
not
there.
that long
Not
ago.
long
I mean,
ago. Like
you
that's
know.
when I worked at the pump too, right? So
Okay.
that was
fair
my
enough.
illustrious career. Was
Well,
just-
hey, you've been there. I've definitely been at a few bars in my time, but I can think of I've probably bounced at about 8 or 10 bars in each city.
oh, where else did you like? What other cities are you from?
Well, Saskatoon was where I started.
Oh, Saskatchewan, huh?
Yeah, you betcha, buddy.
Saskatchewan, eh?
Worked at a little place called Whiskey Jack's there. That was the first one I ever did. And
When was that? I think I might have been there before.
I was like 19.
Okay.
So that would have been quite a while ago, but 2001. And that was my
no,
first.
definitely wasn't there then.
Yeah, no, that was
You're
my
not
first
older
taste
than
of
me.
those. Well, I'm same age as you. But yeah, and then I've definitely bounced at the pump. I think everybody here. You never worked
No, I
at the
never
pump
did
though,
work
Josh,
at
eh?
the pump. No.
No.
Oh, he was an enemy.
Really?
Public enemy number one.
Oh, so you were the whiskey guy, not the pump guy.
I honestly, as soon as the whiskey opened, I just went in there, and I was honestly the only reason I got into bouncing at the whiskey is because I was trying to get over a breakup, and I wanted something to do with my time. So it was still out.
So you figured a waitress?
Yeah, or
Well-
6.
I ended up dating one.
Shocking.
I know.
Couple waitresses
bouncer
and
and a
and
waitress,
beer
you did.
tub gal.
Right on. But okay, well before it became the whiskey, it was JD's.
Yeah.
Anybody
Yeah.
ever work there?
No.
No,
I did.
I love.
You did work at JD's
I
too.
worked for like 3 months. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That
I
was-
love that bar.
It was a good time.
I enjoy.
I do
every time.
appreciate a good dive bar.
It was the dive bar, man.
Speaking of JD's, did that reunion thing happen at the
I think
Derby
that's,
Center, or is that
it's
coming
still
up here?
coming up, isn't it?
Does it say October? No.
I think it was October.
Well, that's-
either that or it was like the
you
end.
know-
Yeah, why don't
you'll
you
know
fact
who
check
know.
her?
Yeah. www.facebook.
I would love to go to that, man. I mean, like I said, I only worked there 3 months, and I don't think anybody'd even remember me. But it'd be fun to hang out with the old JD's crew again. That was a great bar.
That was my first bar fight in that bar.
Really? And you weren't a bouncer?
No.
Did you end up fighting a bouncer?
And I think I wasn't nearly as big back then. I'm pretty sure I got thrown out like a fucking discus frisbee. Just fucking, I know I got air for a long period of time.
Well, there you go.
Like,
Did you make it past that iron bar in the middle?
no, but back when it was a whiskey after, I have wrung a few heads off that bar.
Oh, for sure. I think everybody did once in a while.
If anybody's wondering to go to the JD's reunion bash, it
Ooh.
is Sunday, October 10th
There
at
you
the
go.
Turvey Center.
Ooh,
Center.
20
that's a good dive bar right
20
there.
bucks
The Turvey
gets you in. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good time there.
I think we might have to do a podcast there.
Yeah, Facebook's.
I'm elk hunting
Oh,
that weekend.
Oh,
so
that would be
no
sweet
dice.
if we could do a podcast on that one.
that would be a
That-
good time.
Or just even before.
Yeah.
Just all the
Are you going to
shame.
that, Chief? You never worked at JD.
Never worked at JD's, just at the pump in town here.
Okay.
We should do one for the pump, though.
Oh, well, they did one for the pump not that long
Well, they
ago.
did a closing down party for
Yeah.
when they tore the building down. They had one more last go at it before they tore the building down.
Didn't they do a reunion, though?
No, not yet.
No.
Okay, well, yeah.
Not that
maybe-
I know of.
Well, hey, let's get that pump reunion, trending on.
Well,
on
I'm
the-
pretty sure
on the
a
Twitters or
certain
whatever.
DJ has had many pump reunion parties planned.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's a pump reunion when you just invite people over to give you booze.
That's true.
I mean,
Touche.
we can pick the minutia out of that, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but with
Moving along now.
So what do we got for first blood here?
Okay, first blood.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna go to kind of a. What was your biggest pet peeve as a bouncer?
Well, I
what
can
was
tell
the
you
things
right
that
now.
pissed you off? Well, go ahead.
Drunk girls who took their fucking shoes off on the dance
Oh.
floor or their heels off on the dance floor. Oh my
so many
god.
times.
What a pain in the ass. Like, "Ah, my feet hurt. I don't give a shit. Put your fucking heels back on.
that'll
You're
hurt.
going to get a. Because I, how many times I have carried a fucking completely plastered, like it's like, and dead body weight too, because they don't have a fucking clue what you're trying to pick them up and carry them off the dance floor because their feet are bleeding everywhere from all the broken glass. And then it's like, what am I do wrong? Why are you kicking me out? I'm like, I'm taking you to the fucking back room to put band-aids on your feet because you're fucking bleeding everywhere.
You've lost 6 liters of blood, sweetheart. Dak now.
Yeah, you weren't chugging Caesars.
Do your feet still hurt?
Yeah, no doubt.
Chief, what about you? Number one.
The biggest one
Yeah.
is having a native person tell me I'm being racist.
Oh, my goodness. And how many times has that happened?
Oh, Jesus. Riggers in Wetaskiwin was the best because south of town we had the poor bands. Mm-hmm. And I've had guys tell me, oh, you're being racist. And it's like, you know what? Shut up or I'm going to tell your kokum. And it's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, you're blah, 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 kid.
And I'm going to take
This is your kokum.
and I'm going to take your auntie home.
And I'm your damn cousin, you goofy son of a bitch.
You can
swear
say
on here.
let her
This is
buck.
no
Fuck.
filter.
But no, fuck. The biggest thing is throwing somebody out and they think, oh, you're being racist. It's like, fuck you, you're being stupid. That's why you're getting your ass handed to you.
If stupid was a race, oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, then I'm
Damn near
racist
should
as
be a
shit.
race.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, I think the best one that they tried to get me for being racist was during the day shift, whatever. Came down. I used to live in the hotel upstairs from the bar. And I came down and had my lunch. And I had a couple guys just being pricks to the fucking waitress. Mm-hmm. And I went over and I told them, you know what, guys? Shut the fuck up. And they're going, wow, who do you think you are? Like, well, I'm security here. And people like you piss me off. And then right off the bat, well, a couple native guys. What do you mean, people like you? I mean, anybody that figures they can walk into a bar with a couple dollars in their pocket and treat the women and the staff like whatever, that they're your servants, try and grope and everything like that, that's you kind of people.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck what color you are.
Yeah.
exactly.
I can
wait-
see your top lip twitching right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm worked up about this.
That's why we picked it for first blood. Maybe. I knew it was getting blood boiling.
It comes
I'm going
down,
to steal over
it
here because
comes,
I'm going to get swung at.
it comes down to the point, shit like that makes my fucking feathers grow.
Fucking right.
I go into
Absolutely.
fucking full warrior mode,
War chief.
fucking rights. And just,
Hopefully he's a right-handed power hitter, so
It's
I'm
like-
safe and you're not.
Well, Mike, what about you? What was the thing that kind of pissed you off about being a bouncer?
I
Ironically,
think for
working.
Mike, it's probably just people in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Like, for someone that hates people, fuck,
That's
I
a
love-
good profession to
I
be
fucking
in.
loved working at the bump, though, man. That
Oh,
place was-
yeah.
You say the pump or the bump?
The bump, I accidentally said. I was thinking of
That
something
was what it was
else.
called in the back room.
Yeah, it was in the DJ booth.
I think that's every bar.
It depended where I was. If I was working the door, it was everybody fucking knew somebody to get them in.
Oh, God.
So you're standing
Oh, yeah,
there
yeah.
and I know so and so said I could come in. I was like, I don't know who the fuck so and so is. You're
They
not,
sure
you
didn't
know
me.
You know, and then in the bar, it was kind of the douchey dudes. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just like thinking that they have, like you said, a couple bucks in their pocket, and it's not even the staff. Like, they can grope any chick in the bar or do whatever the fuck they want because they have some coin in their pocket.
Oh, yeah. And the
Those
guys
were-
the guys who walk around in collared shirts and they just
Yeah, frosted tips and the
Oh,
shark
God.
tooth necklace. You know, but
the
that
old
would
shark
probably be
tooth
my
necklaces.
biggest pet peeve was just the door was everyone's on the guest list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
hated working
and then
the door.
working inside the bar was it was like just you just watch like when you like if you were roving around, it wasn't so bad. I found if you're just like when you're on a point and you're standing there and you're looking down and watching, like, you know, the one in front of the DJ booth or the one on the speakers watching over the pool tables over there, and you just see these fucking chaunchy dudes, you know, just trying to, you know, like their shit don't stink and, you know, whatever. Like I just hate people like that. So that was what probably would be my pet peeve.
That's fair. That's fair.
And you?
I think mine would have to be kind of what you're saying, the douchey dudes, but it was that fucking douchey guy that always tried to be your friend,
Oh,
right?
man,
And
yeah.
you knew the only reason he was trying to be your friend was next week he'd be, oh, well, Steve's a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he said like it was that transitive property that you talk to me for 5 seconds and
Yeah.
they all said the same thing. They're like, hey, man. And
I
you're like, hey. And
hated-
they're like, yeah, man, you must love working here. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. And they're like, yeah, you must pick up chicks all the time. And you're like, oh, for fuck, here we go.
I hated working the door, man. Working
Oh,
the door
I
was
never
the
worked
worst.
the door. The only thing about working the door that was kind of okay is sometimes you get some tips, but it wasn't worth it.
I got a good door story when we get into the stories.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into this story.
So, okay, I got a question for you guys. First time ever bouncing, your first night ever working. Was your adrenaline going, or was it kind of like... It was my first night ever bouncing. Man, I was just like on edge the whole night. I'm just like, I'm here to fucking kick ass and chew bubblegum.
He's just got both of them loaded, eh? Just ready.
It's a Tuesday night. It's got thunder and lightning ready to rain down.
Tuesday night at the Waffle House.
got this-
Josh is just laying out servings.
Long sleeve shirt rolled up to like here.
Pack of smokes tucked in there for looks.
Ready to give her.
What about you, Chief? Did you ever have that on your first? Do you ever remember your first time ever working on?
Never
Actually,
forget your first time.
I started. My best friend, late Donnie Lace, got me working at Riggers. So they brought me in, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Said, all right, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Stand at the door, check IDs, but we really don't do that till 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm standing at the door. First guy that comes in, cop. It's like,
And he don't check his ID, right?
oh, no, I look at him and he goes, so how many people you got in here? Oh, about 80 or 90. We had draft row. There's like 9 or 10 drunks that always sit in the back. They drink from noon until 8 o'clock and then they go home. Well, that cop got mad. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, if you open your fucking eyes, you can see how many fucking people were here.
Yeah.
He goes, well, you should have more. It's like, well, you shouldn't be such a dumbass. So, yeah.
That's that stupid race again.
Yeah.
Well, it come down to the point that, well, for my career at Riggers, or actually in Wetaskiwin, Constable McDonald was always on my case. Over little things. And it's like, I had no problem. I'd tell him off. I'd say stupid shit to him. His partners would just kind of walk away and then start laughing. And it's like, well, you better have. It's like, you give me respect, I'll give you respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You act like a goofy little fuck. And that's the other thing. He's only like 5'6".
Yeah.
So he's fucking in the gym, he's got
got
little man
Oh, yeah.
syndrome.
He's got
Can
something
barely
to
fit
prove.
through the
Yeah.
door.
He's always carrying 2
The biggest thing
Culligan water bottles.
Never leave home without him.
Got to stay hydrated.
The biggest thing I found bouncing though is like, it wasn't even so much being a big tough guy, but at the end of the day, you need to be like, the size helps, but being able to talk to people. And I've talked.
and assertive, man.
Oh man, if you can just,
De-escalate a situation.
Yes.
Actually, the easiest part with a drunk is confuse them.
Yeah.
You confuse a drunk, they forget about trying to fight, and they're going, huh, who, huh? And all of a sudden, hey, fuck, I'm outside. How the fuck did that happen? It's like you start off, well, due to your level of intoxication, your presence is not required in this bar anymore. And it's like, huh? It's like, well, come with me and talk. And it's like, well, blah, 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 using some big ass words that don't even fit in a conversation. And the guy's so drunk, he doesn't know, and he's still working on, what was that first
I
word?
just remember the bouncer saying photosynthesis to me, and I just,
And all of a sudden they're outside and it's like, have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, have good mosh pitting.
I never did try that one.
The only one I liked more than that was when a guy was just dead set on fighting, and he was like, you go to tell him you got to go, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking fight you, and you're like, okay, let's go outside. And as soon as he walks out the door, he just closes behind him. And you're like, I can't believe that works every fucking.
Oh, it does.
That was the
Every
biggest.
time.
That was one of the biggest pet peeves too. Is like people who literally go there just to try and fight the bouncer,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so many times.
So
Like-
many, yeah.
Yeah.
and it's like you realize I got like 6 or 7 other guys behind me, like waiting and ready.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody
they're-
ever really
Their
cooks that
their
in.
thunder and lightning is ready,
Yeah, exactly. They-
and they're sober.
And another funny thing is, after all my years bouncing, in the beginning I was fucking full of piss and vinegar. And then I got smart. It's like, why work hard, break my hands when I can work smart?
oh, of course, yeah.
So I get into situations with some guys and they're, yep, oh, I'm going to fuck you up. And it's like, no, you're not. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I don't need to fight you to get you out of here.
No.
Well, what do you think you're that fucking good? It's like, I snap my fingers, you're out of this bar. Yeah, well, fucking prove it. Snap my fingers.
They're all your boys
I got
behind
6 or 7 young guys, all fucking 19, 20. They got a fucking,
Those are the guys. Those are the guys that are
They-
nice to have because they're just full and
Yeah.
ready to go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like, this gentleman's time to go home. And he's like, surrounded. They're all gently walking mode.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the most embarrassing part.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, well, I'm all that. And it's like, yeah. And all of a sudden, fucking,
Humbled.
oh, big time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What about you, Mike? Your first time bouncing?
First
was it,
time bouncing.
Was it nerve wracking?
Oh, Farm Progress Show.
Oh boy,
Wednesday night.
Picture this.
Picture this.
Sicily,
The Pump Roadhouse. I can't remember. 2000, I think it was.
the Bump Roadhouse.
That's right.
And so I was there. It was me and Orty. That was it.
I don't know if I've ever met her.
Ortwin Scholler.
No, don't know.
He was the head bouncer when I was. Do you know it? Did you know
No.
him? No. Okay, so he was the head bouncer there. You know, little, probably your height, chubby, curly haired. Like, a lot of guys hated
You
him.
just described like half of the city.
Yeah, but like everybody hated him, and him and I got along after the day one famously. So we go there, Farm Progress Show. It's a Wednesday night, and we're gonna start you off on an easy, just get an idea, a feel for what goes on in this place, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, so I roll into work, and I'm like, yay.
Got your new shirt
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah,
Just
pretty
breaking
good.
in my new Pump Patrol shirt. And
Did they still have the
Pump
button-ups
Patrol.
back then?
no, they were
Oh,
t-shirts.
man.
Did they still have like the VIP cards so you can
They
show
were
at the
just
door?
kind of getting rid of that
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
But so then these guys walk in eventually, like the night's going on, it's probably 10 o'clock at night, and it's busy, like too busy for just two of us to be there, but
Yeah.
whatever. But everything's going good. Like people, it's more of a business person crowd, and like nobody's getting out of control or whatever. And then these guys walk in, the Cowboys, and
Those good old Cowboys.
these are guys that come in there every Friday, every Saturday. They dump hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars every weekend. They bypass the line. They do all this shit. Basically, do whatever they wanted in there because they were good customers. And if shit ever did click off, they would jump in and help us out.
That's the
time.
one thing that I like about, like, as annoying as you get that one guy who wants to be your buddy so bad, he's 99% of the time the first guy that'll jump in and try and help you if you're struggling.
Exactly.
So he comes. These guys come in, and one of them, and because I didn't know anything because this day one for me, and so he goes up to the sound booth, and I guess a weekend or 2 weekends before, that group of Cowboys had a beef with JJ. So
JJ Vaughn?
yeah. So this guy
Weird.
that I don't know this guy at all from a hole in the wall. He walks up to the booth. And I'm kind of just standing right at the corner of the DJ booth and the stairs there. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, JJ comes swinging with a 3D cell mag light
That's awesome.
and starts fucking cranking this guy in the head.
That's awesome.
And
JJ, if you're watching, kudos to you, buddy.
fuck him. That guy. No.
Whatever.
Anyways, so he starts cranking this guy with this mag light. So I run in there because Orty was nowhere to be found. Like he was somewhere else on the other end of the bar. And I just, whatever, like I broke it up or whatever. So the guy's sitting there and he's he's banged up pretty good.
Well,
and,
yeah,
and
3D.
like whatever. So that was my first night. Long story not long story short, but so I worked at the pump I think for 3.5, 4 years. But that guy that he hit with a flashlight is like my best friend now. Him and we go hunting together all the time. He lives in Assiniboia. He's the guy that I hang out with down there. He was the best man in wedding number 2. Fucking hell of a guy. But yeah, that was my first night at the pump ever. First night bouncing.
That's crank it to 10.
Yeah, just
They put me on the door the very first night. I
they
was
did that.
So
They did
jazzed.
that weekend. I think it was Saturday night. They put me on the door, and I don't know fucking nobody there. Like
Oh, I know.
not one regular. And you know the pump and their regulars, like
Yeah.
old
Oh,
Jerry and all those guys. And then so these guys, these fucking 4 dudes, crank open the exit door and start strutting in, and I'm standing there. I was like, who the fuck are these d bags? Like kind of like citified country guys, like just the pressed cowboy shirt.
Yeah.
They're not really cowboys, and I'm like,
They're just trying to score with the crowd.
Yeah.
I was like sitting there. I was like, he's like, yeah, no. Mark said we could come in. I was like, nah. I don't know who the fuck you are. No. I was like, you get in line and wait with everybody else. So then 10 minutes later goes, and then I feel a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around and it's Mark.
with all these guys.
6 feet, or 5 feet wide, tall and 6 feet wide.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, did you just kick 4 guys out? I'm like, yeah. It was fucking
Just all
Emerson
proud.
Drive.
Yeah, I did. No way.
He's like, that's
the
that's
band.
Emerson Band. That's or Emerson Drive. That's the band. I'm like, are they playing here tonight? He's like, no. He's like, they're just good friends with the Pump. I'm like, how the fuck would I? Nobody told me this.
I remember, I think it was like my first time working inside the bar after like my first couple weeks working the door.
Better.
So anyway, yeah, I felt really stupid for kicking out the owner, and that was that. Sorry, we got cut off there, so we had to redo a little bit.
Classic editing.
Classic Rec Room.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my first time was the exact opposite of being on the edge and all amped up. I was too nice. I was the kind of guy who, when the end of the night came, I didn't know that you were supposed to be kind of aggressive, of kicking people out. Obviously not throwing them out, but, ushering them to leave. I was asking very politely and very calmly, and the guy that was teaching me how to bounce was very annoyed, and he's like, you got to be more aggressive. They got to leave, So I eventually built up my ability to do that. You guys all know the cattle call at the end of the night,
Yeah.
If they can't hear you throughout the entire bar, they're probably not going to move.
Oh man, yeah, that 2 a.m. push was
Yeah.
the worst. And then your first time coming into bounce.
Well, that
First
was
day. Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
was my first time. Yeah, I wasn't an asshole enough, because you do have to ride that line, right? Even when you're a nice bouncer, sometimes you got to be a dick, and people are always like, "Well, fuck, what's the problem?" I'm just on my phone, and you say, "Well, it's a mobile phone. You can move with it. Get the fuck out."
Speaking of getting the fuck out, let's get the fuck out of First Blood here.
All right. Well, we're moving on to Second Wind here. A little bit more upbeat. So I'm thinking, what is the best bar you guys ever worked at? If you had to pinpoint one, I know it's a little easier for Mike because it's just a 50-50, but if you had to pick one of the best place or the best place you ever worked, best group of guys, best whatever, what was your number one?
I think for me, the only place I worked, but the people we worked with there, the bartenders, the bouncers, we were all got along really good, and the owner treated us very well, and it was a good group. Like we still, the guys we bounced with, we still all keep in touch for the most part.
Nice.
I hope we have a little reunion thing for our own.
Well, shit, if we can get more guests on here, we can kind of do a big group thing one day.
Oh, we're gonna need more mics.
Yeah.
What about you, Chief? What was the number one of all the places you've worked?
That's kind of hard. I actually got 3.
Okay.
It would be the Pump, of course.
The Pump was a good one.
Backwoods.
Backwoods, okay.
That was the one in the Port St. John. And then the Roadhouse in Port St. John.
Okay. So 2 in Fort St. John and 1 in Regina?
Yeah.
What was the defining factor? What made them the best? Was it, just the group feel? Everybody getting along, or?
Oh, yeah. Just the way everybody was like a family.
Yeah.
Even if you're being stupid, they had your back.
Yeah, that's always a good way to go.
Yeah, I might have wandered in there on my night off and just held up the bar for 3/4 of the night.
Oh, I think we've all done
everybody
that.
took care of me, as I did with them when they did that. So.
Well, exactly. That's just kind of... one thing I did notice when I moved to Regina from Saskatoon, bar courtesy wasn't quite as big a thing. Because in Saskatoon, if you worked at one bar, you could go into any bar and people would do that for you, right?
Yeah, your industry.
Yeah. Whereas Regina, it was a little more competitive. They weren't... if you knew the guys, they'd generally be like, oh, yeah, he works here. He's a good guy, da-da-da-da-da. But it wasn't kind of open door.
Yeah, I never got any special treatment when I went to the Pump.
Yeah.
When I worked at the whiskey.
Yeah, well, like you said, you were the enemy.
Well, we didn't get any special treatment when we went to JD's or whiskey.
This
either,
is true.
but-
Well, I worked so much that I never got any special treatment on my days off. I'd be standing at the bar waiting for a drink, probably wait 15, 20 minutes. It's like, can I get a drink? Oh, I thought you were working. It's like, no.
What about you, Mike? What was the best one?
Definitely the Pump.
The Pump, yeah. The Pump was a good time.
I had a lot of good times there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I would have to say, definitely, it would be a toss-up between the Pump and there was a place called the Odeon. I worked in Saskatoon, and it was, like you said, it was just that vibe of everybody got along. If it was nights off, people were like, hey, let's go out somewhere. Let's, the breakfasts after work and stuff like that. That was the best times.
Did you was the Deuce open when you lived in Saskatoon?
The Double Deuce?
Is it Double Deuce?
Yes,
Yeah.
I worked there.
I got a funny story about going there.
Okay, well, this is the time for it. Okay, so we've all gone through our best bars. Let's move on to either best memory or best fight. Like, just one of the best memories you have from working at a bar.
Not so much working at a bar, but
Okay. Well,
you go out of town and you get drunk and I'm a bouncer too. I'm a bouncer in Regina. And nobody gives a shit, but you want to say it anyway.
yeah.
And then
Brothers
we're
don't
at
shake
the
hands.
Double
Brothers
Deuce.
gotta hug.
Yeah, we're at the Double Deuce in where the fuck was it? In Saskatoon.
Saskatoon. Yeah.
And one of my buddies, he's a skinnier, smaller guy, but he's I think he's second degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Okay.
He competes
The
internationally.
Dane Cook of martial arts.
Yeah, pretty much. Really good guy. We're all blind drunk, fucking stumbling around in there, and then bouncers decide they want to kick us all out. So me and another buddy, each got a bouncer in each hand, and we're throwing haymakers at each other. And then there's other bouncers trying to go after my buddy, and he's on the phone like this, and he's just dodging all the punches and everything like that, like just so casual, like not even caring. And then we get out of the bar, and he's like on his phone still, walks out of the bar while everybody else we got muscled out. And then one guy, I don't know, there's a car right by the doors in the parking lot. I think I had the one guy up against the car, and then my buddy was standing there on the phone casually talking to me while I'm just like, yeah, buddy, how's it going? And I'm just like throwing haymakers.
It's just another Monday.
Yeah.
And you wonder why there's no bar courtesy.
And then so the one bouncer that was trying to get him inside had enough, and he came out, and he literally sprinted right at him. And then finally he's like, "Okay, I gotta go." And hangs up the phone, and he roundhouse kicks him right in the chest. And it was a bouncer like my size, and then 260 maybe right now. And the guy stopped dead in his tracks, clutched his chest, and just like keeled over on the ground. At that point, everything just kind of de-escalated. And
Yeah. Once you get that guy that could throw one and done,
Do you guys
a lot of guys
want
back
jobs?
what was that one place in Saskatoon? The bouncers all wore shirts that said, "If you're going to be dumb, you better be fucking tough," or something like that.
I don't remember that one. I do remember
the Scuzz. Is that what it was called?
it might have been. I never worked at I never worked at
Sutherland.
the Scuzz.
The
Yeah,
Sutherland.
the Sutherland.
That's what it was.
It was a good time. I do remember Riley's, which was kind of like their version
Oh yeah,
of
they had like
JD's.
MMA fighting in there and shit, didn't
They
they?
had a lot of shit at the end.
I remember Riley's. That
I
was
just
a good time
remember
too.
right before they kind of had their downward slide, they had a bouncers wear shirts called Riley, or on the back it said Riley's. We put the ass in class, and I was like, yeah, right on, bro. That was the kind of place where you worked that you had to take your shirt off to take a guy out because usually they'd mess him up, and I was never a big fan of that. And I did have one time where I wasn't bouncing at Riley's, but I was sitting back by like the pool tables, and a fight breaks out right in front of me. And I was just happened to be wearing a black shirt, so everybody assumed that I was working. And I'm sitting on the table talking to a friend while these two guys are one guy's beating the shit out of another guy. And they go, "Are you going to stop that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." And so I pull the guy off, and he leaves, and the bouncers finally get there. And I pull the guy off the ground that just got the shit kicked out of him. And suffice it to say, he was a little sketchy looking. And he's just bleeding from his face. And he goes, "What the fuck just happened?" And when he said fuck, a little spittle with blood came off his lip and landed right in my mouth. And I have never screamed so loud in my life. I went to the doctor the next day. I'm like, "I got hepatitis." He's like, "No, I think you're fine." But oh man, it was one of those like come to Jesus moments where I thought, all right, this is how it ends for me.
I'm going to give up my sinning. No more
That's
sinning from
nasty.
sunshine.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so other than best story, what
we
about?
didn't get Chiefs.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Chief. What is the best story you can think of? Happiest moment.
Actually got two. One
Okay.
was at Riggers.
I love that name for a bar.
Yeah. Actually, it was the Prince of Wales, it was Riggers, and then it was Hungry Horse.
Okay.
But our uniforms were tuxedo shirts and black pants.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
Like
that's
the tuxedo, like the
That
t-shirts
must
that
have
had the
been a-
tuxedo.
the actual tuxedo shirt.
Oh,
Must
wow.
have been a strip
Oh,
club.
really?
I would have definitely wore a tuxedo t-shirt.
But it was New Year's Eve, getting ready,
Oh, I love
getting
New
getting everybody out. Somebody starts a brawl in the front, and there you got 20, 30 people fighting, and I can't get in there. So what do? Take about 10 steps back, start running, arms out, and I just level everybody. Everybody fucking dominated.
Running
A
clotheslines.
man,
I
a man
love
your
it.
size doing that too, you'll take a few guys out.
Well, at the time, I was about 310 pounds.
Ooh.
So
And how tall are you?
6'4" and a half.
Ooh,
But what happened
watch the fuck out.
once I,
Chief was great when you'd be taking a guy out and he just walked up behind you and the
Who's-
guy's
who's,
attitude changed.
that's my damn phone again.
Oh, come on, Chief.
I thought I turned the bitch off.
All right, well, whatever. Keep going.
But anyways, so what I did is kind of waited in a pile and picked the guys up, threw them out the door. If they swung at me, I hit them. I hit them, throw them out the door like that. And I had somebody fucking come that just barely clipped me. Grabbed the poor fucker by the head and I just fucking two in the fucking eye, throw him out the door.
When it gets to that point, it's just basically just like just start
Give-
grabbing, swing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it-
You swing at me.
Give him the old Briggs and Stratton.
Yeah.
Yeah, just spray and pray.
So we got everybody out. We're sitting there, and we hired this brand new bouncer. It's one of the bartenders or the waitress's son-in-law. Blah blah blah. Well, he's sitting there in his fucking civvy shirt, and he's got a big ass fucking black eye. What the fuck happened to you? It's like, well, I was in the bottom of that pile, and somebody grabbed me by the hair and punched me in the face. And it's like,
Whoops.
I got a stupid question for you. Were you still wearing your tuxedo shirt?
Did it look like?
And he goes, no, I changed. It's like, well, I know who hit you. It's like, who? Me, you dumb fuck. This is why we wear tuxedo shirts.
we
So
have
you can
uniforms.
tell who's who.
Yeah.
That's why it says staff across the back, you know, just in case I come at you from behind.
Dummy.
It's
And-
like
Then another one is we went from Riggers up to Drinking Saskatoon. Me, my brother Donnie Lace, who's passed away, and Rick Coulter, who was the manager, and his brother John. Well, we went to the strip club. And Rick and John are all done up with their gold watches, suits, and whatnot. And me and Donnie are just looking like a couple of pit bulls. So they're on fucking Purpose Road, just hooping and hollering, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. And
Yeah.
6 bouncers fucking walk up to him. So I nudge my buddy, and it's like, hey, check this out. It's like, all right. So I walk up and I go, hey, boss. Bouncers here are kind of watching you and John. He goes, oh, really? So you want me to do anything about it? He goes, nah, let him be for now. Well, Donnie comes in like he's a big motherfucker. He looks like a fucking Samoan.
Okay.
Oh, but he's German. Go figure. Anyway, he comes in, he shucks off his fucking leather jacket, and it sits there, and he goes, thunk, and he's just fucking, he's a monster. And all of a sudden, we're sitting there watching, and then looking, it's like, where the fuck did the bouncers go? And all the bouncers are hiding in the back by the fucking DJ booth. They didn't want fuck all to do with us.
oh yeah, there's a couple guys where I've like they're in the bar and they're just like, you gotta like do something about this guy, and I'm just like, oh fuck, this guy's gonna be, this guy's gonna hurt me.
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad.
Well, okay, so segueing into that, what is either the best, the craziest, or the worst fight you were ever in? Like, what is one that just, if you had to tell a crazy story about bouncing, this was the fight that, like, man, I thought I was either going to die or somebody else was.
I
Josh?
remember one time out on the deck of the whiskey, I think. I don't know, yeah, this one big bald-headed guy with swastika tattoos all over him. He was a monster. Like, he was probably 6'5" and just droided right out. And then
Yeah.
he had a few guys with him that were like the same size, and then they all had women that were all like not jacked, but you know, you can tell they had an attitude with them. And
Kind of chick that'll jump on your back while you're fighting her boyfriend.
yeah,
Yeah.
and have claws.
I've been there.
Yeah, and then I can't remember what it was, but we ended up getting them out. I took a couple good shots to the face. I'm pretty sure I had a shiner. I had what else? A couple other guys got it pretty good, but we ended up getting them out. But I think that was the biggest adrenaline rush. Is like when you got like 4 of these monsters, and it's like
Yeah.
it's go time. I'm taking your patella tendon out, bud. Like you're kicking the side of your knee out.
I'm fucking going
And
for
then
the cheap shots.
I think the worst one I was ever in is I dated this one girl, and she got mad at somebody there who bumped into her at the bar, so she hip checked him right back hard. And then his girlfriend went after her and dragged her into a big pile of mess. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm just getting over a broken back. I got staples just taken out of my head from when I had my head split open. And the one guy just grabs me and starts feeding, and I'm just like, I really can barely move my back, and I'm just like, fuck, I don't know what to do. I'm just like, put my head down and start blocking the shots with the top of my head, where my cut got opened up. And then I grabbed the one guy, and I just went to go jersey him, basically. Just grabbed him, and then he was trying to swing still, and I had him with one good grip, and then his buddy came and tried getting me from the other side. The buddy that I was there with, he cowered and like ran around a corner. And then, yeah, that one sucked. And then eventually these guys gave up because I think they just got gas from cranking me in the head so many times.
Tire him out.
Yeah.
Classic technique.
Like Homer Simpson,
The old
boxing ring
rope-a-dope.
there.
Yeah.
And then I went and found her. She was all fucked up, and then I was like walking in the bag. I was very unimpressed on that one. She wouldn't even look at me, and I was just like bleeding down my face. But yeah, that was probably the worst of that one.
What about you, Chief?
Well, me and Donnie again at Riggers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Donnie.
Donnie's
Yeah.
a bit of a shit stirrer, is he?
Oh, he was the best. We had one buddy, Salty. That was his nickname. Pretty well the only black guy in Wetaskiwin. He comes into the bar.
I can figure why he's salty.
Yeah. Well, he comes into the bar and he goes, yeah, some little fucking puke pulled a fucking gun on me outside.
Oh, shit.
Told him to put it away before I shoved it up his ass. And it's like, me and Donnie go, all right, cool. Well, let's go get the gun. So Donnie goes around the back of the bar and I come out the front, and unbeknownst to us, somebody told the cops, but that comes in later. Anyways, I run into the guy, and it's like total description, young native guy, just drunk out of his mind. So he starts talking, and it's like, I see Donnie creeping up from the back of the parking lot. So I'm just confusing this poor drunk guy. Well, out of nowhere, Donnie comes up, fucking puts the guy to sleep, knocks him out, we're patting him down. Halfway patting him down, looking for the gun. Fucking cops show up. All the cops. It doesn't help that the cop shop is 2 doors down.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So we missed out on getting a gun, but we caught the guy that here he threw it on the roof and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, then later on, it's like, why the fuck did we go after a guy with a gun? It's like, gee, I don't know. Oh, yeah, we wanted the gun. Right. And it's like,
It's all coming back now.
yeah, it was kind of like, wasn't it one of our dumbest fucking moves we met? And he goes, yeah, but we're young. We'll do more.
We'll top this one.
Never had a.
Oh,
Your cane went
That's
down
all
for
right.
a
We're fine.
I've never had a situation with a gun or a knife, but the ones I think that probably made me the most nervous are the guys who came in trying to do gang initiations, and then they had one guy in there that had to do something with a knife to somebody. Usually we could catch him before anything bad happened, but
Yeah. What about you, Mike? Craziest fight?
Craziest
Best fight? Either one that made you happy or one that made you sad?
There's a couple I could tell here. There's one of my favorite was it was another week. I think it was Labor Day weekend, and
Always a prime time
It
for
wasn't
something
Labor Day
to go
weekend.
down.
It wasn't Labor Day. It was in the winter. It must have been something else. But I think it was freezing rain outside, kind of a shitty, and storming. But it's happening in there. Like it's a Friday night or a Saturday. And it's whatever. And I was just roving around, and I see this fucking kind of up by the dance floor. I just see this hand come up with a beer bottle in it, and then just whap. And this guy just fucking he bottled this chick.
oh man,
Oh,
And
That's a battling.
right through the fucking crowd.
How did he go?
And everybody,
Oh, okay.
and everybody,
It's a classic
like,
move. by the way.
everybody,
If you don't
everybody knew.
if you don't know how to hit, you shouldn't be.
You know, if you can't, so like it just everyone just like this.
Yeah.
Like
Like the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Just boof.
and this guy's standing, like, and this chick's down like kind of on her knees and turtled, right, and he's sitting there. He's gonna go on with the sharp side now.
Oh shit.
And I grabbed him by the neck and by the arm, got the beer bottle out of his hand off the back of his pants, and I walked him out like this.
That's awesome.
And kind of, you know where the VLTs used to be at the pump there, right?
Yeah,
Kind
by
of
the
right
door
when
there.
we got, and every, like, all the bouncers, everybody had that all fucking cleared. And as we're getting to the VLTs, I just kind of put them into takeoff mode. And I walked, I opened up the
Lift
exit.
real hard on the belt.
I opened up the exit door with his mouth.
Yeah.
And as that door opened, I hucked him face first, and it was freezing rain, and the sidewalk was sheer ice.
those steps
were
were the
curling.
worst.
He
Coming out of the pump.
went off the stairs right into a fucking bumper of a truck that was parked.
That's amazing.
And then, so a couple minutes later, Orty's like,
And what's the sound effect of him doing that?
"Oh, I can't remember."
Something like
Whoop! There it is. Yeah, no, that was probably one of my favorite
That's a pretty good one.
toss outs.
I would have to say, there's too many to pick from, but one of my absolute favorites was actually Chase. I
Did you
learned-
bounce at the pump with Chase?
No, I didn't. But like
Kick
I said,
Chase out.
No, it was his brother actually. And I just recently found this out. We went to Chase's bachelor party, and of course, his brothers were there, and we were talking about it. And I remember one night I was on the deck of the pump, and I was just sitting on the box, and some kid had gotten thrown out. Some little blonde-haired kid had gotten thrown out earlier that night. I happen to know. They said, watch that kid. Da 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 da. Anyway, back door the deck opens, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I know what's going on here. Somebody's sneaking in. And I could kind of see him, but he was trying to keep real low, fucking, Mission Impossible style. And so I just kind of walk to the door and wait for him. And as he comes, I grab him by the back of his collar, and I just walk him out the fucking, the deck door, and kind of give him a little bit of a toss. But, I wasn't being mean, but, he was a little dude.
Yeah.
And then later that night, I see him back in the bar. I don't know how he got in, just as I'm kind of coming off the deck, and he's on the staircase to go down to the basement, but he's trying to slide down the rail. Well, he got about a half inch and then went back ass over tea kettle, hit the bottom of the stairs. And as we take him out, I'm like, you should have taken the first ticket to leave.
Yeah.
Just chuck him out the
The
front
worst
door.
guys are the ones that like sneak their way in. It's like I kicked you out like 4 fucking times already,
yeah.
man. Like what the fuck?
And then so anyway, smash cut to Chase's bachelor party. I just happened to mention that I worked at the pump, and his brother starts telling the story the time he fell down the stairs, and I'm like, did you also try and sneak in on the deck? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I kicked you out both those fucking times.
We got like 3 minutes.
3
left
minutes,
on
quick
this
one, Chase.
Yeah.
Or
You're gonna love
Chief.
this one. Working at Riggers with Donnie.
Always Riggers.
So
love Riggers.
I was
Riggers
at the
and
door.
Donnie.
I kept fucking whatever, and then we switch every 20 minutes or whatever. And there's one fucking guy ended up in the fucking bar. I fucking grab him and I fucking open the back doors with him, throw him out. Whatever, go sit at the front door, whatever. Then back on the floor, and fuck, this son of a bitch is back in there. Well, fucking, it had to happen at least 8 fucking times.
Oh man, those are the worst ones.
It's like, how the fuck is this cocksucker keep getting in?
Fake
And,
mustache.
I was mad. I was just fucking fuming. End of the night, Donnie fucking comes up to me and gives me $400. So, what the fuck is this? Oh, you know that guy he kept throwing out? He kept paying me to let him back in. So you kept throwing him out, and I kept getting paid more to let him back in. It's like, you
That was your
fucking
cut.
bitch.
It happens.
I think that's a pretty good one to end on. We'll take another break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
So as you can see, we don't have any sponsors. So if you guys want to sponsor us, that'd be fantastic.
Yes, please, Viagra. I mean, what?
CL, what?
CLs. Okay, well, we're here in the last segment of the show, which is usually third wheel, but we didn't get any viewer suggestions because apparently we're too popular for it.
Yeah.
But
All
what-
12 of you didn't come through.
yeah,
on that one.
nobody. What the hell? Rob Gatesman, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I'm taking his badge away.
We're taking your top fan, buddy.
Oh, man.
All right, but
Do we have a top 10?
I think
Yeah.
we got a few.
It's Robert.
Ron
Gatesman.
Bell. He's
Ron
big up
Bell,
there.
who is he? I don't know.
I've never met him before, but he sure seems to like her stuff, and
well,
we
that's
appreciate
awesome.
your support,
Thanks.
buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and what's that? Suzanne. I don't know how to say her last
I don't
name.
know. Yeah.
Coelzel or something
Quasnell
like that.
or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Suzanne,
thank you
we love
very
you
much
too.
for being a fan. That's awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate you
We
guys.
need to make her a top fan.
Well, I think she is. I think it's automatic for Facebook. Anyway, we're kind of getting off point.
Yeah.
So we are in the last segment. So since we've all got stories to tell, we're just going to keep telling a bunch of crazy stories about bouncing. Mike, you said you had a couple of quick
Yeah,
ones.
a
Let's hear
couple
them.
Quick ones. So, first one, it was a lesson I learned.
I'm already intrigued.
The old lesson.
So, and everyone's having a good time, and there's always that super drunk chick at the bar. No. Yeah. Well, I learned that day that you never call a woman a whore. Because
Color me intrigued.
Remember at the pump there used to be a payphone but the staircase before you go downstairs and before you go out on the deck.
Yeah.
There used to be that payphone there. And there's this chick. She was just blacked out drunk. And she's just going off on something. And then she said something else. And then she insulted me. And then she said something else. And I called her a whore.
Ooh.
And then it was just nailed. Oh.
It was like Wolverine, but nails.
She was probably the toughest person I've ever had to remove from the bar. Because she was spunky.
That's where we got
Spunky,
lucky
yeah.
at the Whiskeys. We had a girl bouncer who was a U of R wrestler. So that was like the nicest thing ever for working at a
Yeah.
bar.
We had one at the pump. Cheryl.
Yeah.
She was a tough lady. But the sweetest person when she wasn't kicking people out. But
Yeah.
Exactly.
when you're a man and you get a female bouncer, you're always kind of worried, is this going to be just kind of the diversity hire? She was fucking tougher than 99% of us, man. Fucking, she could have fucking thrown me out any night of the week.
Personally, I didn't care. If you're a woman, you're a woman. But
Yeah.
if you're gonna fucking
If you
hit
can
me,
bounce.
if you're gonna hit me like a man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kick your ass out like a man.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had people look at me. Well, she was a girl. Yeah. Well, she tried to fucking punch me in the balls.
Yeah.
That's the worst
That's-
is when they try and grab your
That's
nuts
the
and-
reason. Yeah, that's the reason her arm got put around her back, and I got carried her up by that and her hair.
Yeah.
That's the worst, man. The worst is
this young lass was. It was like the Tasmanian devil, man, boy.
Well, you said you had a second one too.
So there's no kicking out. There's no machismo about this one. It was when the Grey Cup was in Regina. So we set up the lineup on the deck. They had this brain idea. We'll put the lineup so once they get on the deck, they can serve people in line.
oh yeah.
And it was awesome. Like everyone was happy. Even the people that never even got in the bar were just. And I was working the door.
Okay.
So there's these four dudes, and I'm pretty sure they weren't from Saskatchewan. Like they were very, very, very well groomed, very well dressed.
Definitely not from Saskatchewan.
Yeah, no,
And
clearly.
so they come up there, and this is the first night of the Grey Cup weekend. I think it was like Thursday or Friday night or whatever. And so the one guy, he's like, "What's it to get in?" And I think cover charge was $10. I'm like, "Oh, it's just $10 a person." And he's like, No. He's like, "What's it to get in?" I was like, "It's $10 a guy to get in." And he's like, reaches into his pocket, and he pulled out what I bet was 10 grand
Oh yeah.
in-
One of those
in-
guys
no,
loves to show off the wallet.
in
eh?
fucking hundreds.
Yeah.
And he starts, he pulls out this big one. It was 50s.
Okay.
And he starts peeling them off. And I'm like, no, man, like, you'll get in soon enough. Puts that wad back in, goes in his other pocket and pulls out a big wad of hundreds. And he's like, "What's it to get in?" And he's just counting
Oh,
like
man.
this.
Oh,
and
isn't
I'm
that a
like,
nice feeling?
I'm like, huh. I was like, all right. $1,200.
Really?
Yeah.
And he paid it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow, I
And so-
never did. I got
so he
bribed
did-
quite a bit.
He
for
did that. And then the next night, same fucking thing. Big lineup there on the deck. And he's like, "Was it same as last night?" I said, "No, it's a bigger party tonight." Fucking he peeled off $2,500
Ooh,
Fuck.
for four guys to get in the bar. So we're sitting there at the end of the end of the night, and we're getting tipped out, and it's pretty good. Like one of the waitresses there made fucking like $8 grand.
Oh,
Can't remember her name. Just a
They don't
smoke show.
make they don't make that anymore. What they used to make.
But-
at
Yeah,
night
no.
clubs.
What's her name? Was it Laura Lee or something like that? Just a smoking hot blonde chick.
I think I remember Laura Lee.
and she tipped out huge.
Oh, yeah.
And so we all I think we left there with a couple $100 each or whatever. Hey, and then so we're all like everyone's out of the bar and we're having our complimentary beverage after the shift there.
The old drink at the end of the night.
So Ordy's counting up the tips and whatever. So he's got all our piles there and then I peel out like that $3,700 and I just start
Oh shit!
tapping into everybody. There's only for 8 of us, eh? And he's like, "Where the fuck did you get that?" He's like seriously, did you find that? I said, "No." I said last night these guys gave me $1,200 and tonight they gave me $2,500 to get in. He's like, "You kept?" He's like, "You're sharing it?" I said, "Yeah, fucking right." So I'm gonna
Fucking
share it."
right. Good
Just-
man.
Or they're just, all these guys are just looking at like, what the fuck?
That's awesome, man.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
See, I didn't have Mike's resolve. I had the exact same scenario happen, but I think I caved for like $400, and I didn't share with anyone.
I've never.
Granted, I didn't work in a bar where we did tip out for bouncers. It was just your
What-
straight wage.
I
right?
told you guys earlier, like when we were off air or whatever you want to call it, but the night that Vanilla Ice played there, I got hammered with him after.
Oh yeah.
Like me and a couple other guys, and so we're like before we started drinking, like you get everybody out, and then you start putting chairs up, and right along the railing, right behind the sound booth, there was a wad of cash, and I was like, "Huh," picked it up. It was like $600. Into my
Fuck yeah.
pocket. Like,
Happens.
so I didn't share that.
I had a guy. He didn't steal it from me, but I was working at a bar, and one of the bouncers across the room, he kept doing this to me, and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just standing against the wall. I'm like, "I don't know what he's doing." So he walks over, real slow, big smile on his face because he knows I'm not going to see it, but he just bends down, and I'm talking under my foot. I'm literally standing on it. He pulls out a fucking money clip with like $700, and I'm like, "Mother!" And of course, I was like, "Well, fuck, I didn't see it. It's not mine, right?"
Yeah.
So, but I was so pissed. I'm like, I'm standing on $700, and I didn't even notice.
How many bribes did you get, Chief?
Oh, I got tons. Donnie again.
Donnie.
Donnie, we gotta have Donnie on this show.
Well, he's not
He's
with us
passed
anymore.
away.
Oh,
so-
that's right. Well,
He said that earlier in the show.
that's
But,
true. My bad.
He had a rule: whatever you find or are given, anything over $400, we split.
That's fair.
Well, I don't know. Somebody dropped like $1,800. Don't know who it was. Nobody ever came up with it. So it was all in just kind of a roll. Seen it, picked it up, put it in my pocket. Went out for fucking coffee afterwards, and I said, "Oh, Donnie, I'll start counting this out. One for you, one for me." It was what? So I found it on the floor.
Yeah, nice.
Nice. Well, that actually is a perfect segue into we're going to do the lightning round with our guest Chief here. Thanks for coming out, buddy. We appreciated the
Yeah.
story.
No problem, brother.
And
thanks for
okay,
coming.
so we got the lightning round, 10 quick questions, real simple, just one word answers or real quick, and we'll just move through them and then we're going to end the show. So, your go-to throw out move.
Choke hold.
Joke hold.
Nice.
From front or back?
Back.
There
Sleeper.
you go. Yes.
Nice.
Good man. Stupidest question anybody ever asked you while bouncing?
Jesus.
Yeah.
There's too many.
I know, that's pretty hard. Okay, fair enough.
That's that race again.
Okay.
That was really not
End of the night drink of choice.
Oh. Jesus. Normally it would be Johnny Walker Black. 1
There you
ounce
go.
of that, 1 ounce of Coke.
Nice.
Man with some taste.
All right, best tip you ever received?
Other than don't stand under falling trees.
That counts too.
Don't play leapfrog with a unicorn.
I had one guy tip me in backwoods in Port St. John $600 to come into the back door because I ran the VIP door for 5 minutes.
Jesus, that's a pretty good tip.
And the funny part was the boss was standing there and I looked at him and he goes, "Go ahead."
Yes,
It's like walking A.
Absolutely. Okay, would you rather roam or be on a perch?
Rome,
Yes, of course you would. Okay,
Roaming's the best.
most
Yeah.
money ever found. I mean,
$1,800.
yeah, you kind of answered that before. Best bar, Like, I'm not talking that you worked at. Best bar you ever been to? I think Riggers is
Riggers.
Yes.
Riggers got the most stories.
There you go. Okay, worst bar you ever been to?
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Okay. Favorite waitress?
Oh, Jesus, I can't. If I say anybody's name, I would honestly get my ass handed to me
Okay.
by any of the other girls that I know.
So I think the answer is every one of them. They
were-
were
yeah.
all sweethearts.
They were
and
all
they always looked
equally
after us.
deadly.
The answer
Right
is
on.
I love it.
The answer is Donnie.
Donnie was the best.
Actually, he looked good in a tutu.
Okay. And
I don't want to hear that story.
When you're working as a bouncer, cops, friend or foe?
Both.
All right, perfect
Actually,
answer.
I got a good one for the cops.
All right, real quick one to round us up.
Okay, backwoods in Port St. John. Mm-hmm. Donnie again. He just lost his grandmother.
Sounds like a fucking hell of a dude.
He lost his grandmother, so he went on a fucking tear. Mm-hmm. End of the night, we're doing our cleanup, having our drinks or whatever. Donnie's sitting there with a big junk of fucking milk. Well, he's done drinking.
Okay, fair enough.
2 cops come in, banging on their door. Some big, ugly fucking sergeant chick and some other female. And she starts going off on Donnie. Going, oh, well, you don't work here, blah, blah, blah. You're not supposed to be in after hours. Just being a real cunt. Mm-hmm. Donnie looked at her and goes, you know what, bitch? You can kick me out now. But the next time your ass needs help, me and Jason are going to turn our fucking back and walk away on you. Mm-hmm. She goes, oh, whatever. Like you're whatever. The next weekend, Donnie comes by to visit me because I'm bouncing. He's not. Mm-hmm. Fight outside. 3 guys fighting, guess who?
Oh, no.
These 2 female cops. Oh, shit. Actually, no, it was 5 guys.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, it come down to the point, me and Donnie looked at each other, and it's like, oh, fuck, we gotta.
Yeah.
So I grabbed one guy in a fucking chokehold, pulled him down. Donnie grabbed 2, pulled him down. The cops had fucking handcuffed the other 2 guys. And they let him go, we're going to pepper spray him. Just fucking pepper spray him. We cover our faces with these guys.
With the meat shields.
And then they spray him. And then we looked at him and said, you know what? Normally we would have walked away for what you did to us last weekend. Mm-hmm. But we're not that big of a cunt.
Fucking right.
Oh, that sergeant, after that, fuck.
Best friend.
She learned her lesson. Eh?
She wouldn't say shit if her mouth was fucking full of it.
All right, well, that's the perfect way to end off this episode of the Rec Room. I think the lesson of the day was don't be a cunt.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed getting wrecked with us.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Peace.
Bye.